I'm tired. I'm tired of being second. I'm tired of losing.
What you ask will be granted, but nothing taken unnaturally returns without cost.
I don't...
Lola had always known what it felt like to be the center of her parents' world. She was their only child for 10 full years. 10 years of undivided affection, of being called my princess, of having her worries listened to with seriousness and care. The house bent gently around her moods. Her laughter filled it. Her tears stopped it cold. That was the life she knew. So when Amara arrived, Lola noticed the shift before anyone else did. It happened quietly. No dramatic announcement. No explanation meant for a child's understanding. Just a knock on the door one humid afternoon and her mother's voice, thinner than usual, calling her from the living room. "Lola, come and greet your cousin." The girl standing beside her mother didn't look like someone who planned to stay. She looked temporary, small, folded into herself. Her dress was neat but faded, her shoes slightly oversized, as though borrowed in a rush. She clutched a brown suitcase with both hands, knuckles pale, eyes fixed on the floor. This was Amara. Her parents, Mama's younger sister and her husband, were gone. Death had taken them close together, too quickly for logic to catch up. Lola didn't understand all the details, only that no one smiled when her name was mentioned and that the adults spoke of her parents in hushed tones, as though they might hear from wherever they had gone. "She'll be staying with us," Lola's mother said gently, one hand resting protectively on Amara's shoulder. Lola nodded. She even smiled. She was a good girl. She had been raised that way. At first, it felt like a visit. Amara slept in Lola's room, her suitcase placed neatly at the foot of the bed. She spoke softly, asked permission for everything, thanked everyone repeatedly. If Lola offered her food, she hesitated first, then accepted with visible relief. Adults love that kind of gratitude. Lola watched her mother brush Amara's hair in the evenings, fingers careful, voice soothing in a way that felt different, tender, almost apologetic. Lola had never needed that tone. She had always been whole. But Amara was broken. And broken things, Lola learned quickly, attracted attention. At school, teachers were kinder to Amara. They praised her politeness, her focus, her resilience. Classmates gathered around her, curious and sympathetic. Lola noticed how easily people leaned toward Amara, how naturally they softened. "She's been through a lot," they'd whisper. Lola said nothing. She helped Amara with homework, walked beside her on the way to school, corrected anyone who mispronounced her name. When Amara cried quietly at night, Lola pretended not to notice. Outwardly, she was the perfect sister. Inside, something unfamiliar began to grow. It wasn't hatred, not even anger. It was the slow, painful awareness that love, something Lola had always believed to be abundant, could be divided. Her mother laughed more around Amara. Her father checked Amara's school bag every morning. Neighbors asked about Amara first, and Lola began to feel invisible. She told herself it was selfish to feel that way. Amara hadn't asked for tragedy. She hadn't asked for attention. She was simply trying to survive. So Lola swallowed the feeling. Years passed like that. Childhood faded into adolescence. Adolescence into adulthood. The house filled with shared memories, shared struggles, shared successes. Together, they built lives, education, businesses, respect. To everyone else, they were inseparable. Sisters in every way that mattered. Only Lola knew the truth. That beneath every smile, every sacrifice, every time she stepped aside without complaint, there was a quiet voice whispering, "I used to come first." And no one ever noticed when she stopped. By the time Lola met Daniel, she had learned how to live with quiet disappointments. They didn't announce themselves anymore. They came disguised as maturity, acceptance, patience, silence. She told herself she was content. She had a thriving business, a respected name, parents who were proud of her, and a sister who adored her without reservation. On paper, her life was full, but there were nights she lay awake, staring at the ceiling, wondering when she had started feeling like the supporting character in her own story. Daniel arrived during one of those seasons. They met at a business seminar in the city, seated beside each other by coincidence. He was calm, observant, the kind of man who listened more than he spoke. When he did speak, his words were measured, thoughtful. He asked Lola questions and waited for real answers. She liked that. They exchanged numbers. Conversations followed, about work, about faith, about the quiet exhaustion that came with always being strong. He never flirted recklessly, never crossed boundaries. And that, somehow, made Lola want him more. She waited. Weeks passed, then months. Daniel remained kind, present, consistent. He invited her out, but always safely. Coffee, lunch, long walks where conversations stretched but never tipped into confession. Lola told herself he was cautious, that men like him took their time, that what they were building mattered. So when she invited him home for dinner one evening, she believed, truly believed, that something would finally shift. Amara opened the door. Lola saw the moment clearly. The way Daniel's gaze paused, not rudely, not boldly, but noticeably. The way his posture straightened, his attention sharpening. Amara greeted him politely, unaware. She offered water, asked after his journey, smiled with the same gentleness she offered everyone. And something in Daniel responded. Dinner was warm, lively. Laughter filled the table. But Lola barely tasted the food. She watched Daniel watch Amara. Not hungrily, not disrespectfully, but with curiosity that deepened into admiration. She told herself she was imagining it. She wasn't. In the weeks that followed, Daniel found reasons to visit. Business questions, friendly check-ins, conversations that no longer centered on Lola alone. And slowly, inevitably, his attention shifted. When he finally spoke, he did so honestly. I care for Amara, he said one afternoon, voice steady. I'd like to get to know her properly. With your permission. The words landed like a blow. Lola smiled. She nodded. She said all the right things. Inside, something ancient and bitter surged to the surface. Again, that voice whispered. Again, she takes what was meant for you. Amara tried to refuse. She didn't want to cause any problems, so she asked Lola if she was interested in him. I don't want to hurt you, she told Lola. You met him first. Lola held her and lied smoothly. It's fine, she said. I want you to be happy. That night, Lola went to the river. The water was dark, moving slowly, reflecting moonlight like a secret. The priestess listened without interruption as Lola poured out everything she had swallowed for years. The jealousy, the bitterness, the exhaustion of always stepping aside. I'm tired, Lola said, tears streaming. I'm tired of being second. I'm tired of losing. The goddess's voice was calm. What you ask will be granted, she said. But nothing taken unnaturally returns without cost. I don't care, Lola replied. And she meant it. From that moment, things unraveled. Daniel grew distant from Amara. Irritable, confused. He ended things abruptly, without explanation. Amara was devastated, blindsided by a rejection she could not understand. Lola stepped into the space left behind. And when Daniel asked her to marry him, she said yes. Victory, she learned, could feel very much like grief. Marriage gave Lola what she thought she wanted, status, security. The man she had convinced herself was hers by right. But peace never came with it. At first, she blamed adjustment, then stress, then time. Months turned into years. No child came. Doctors ran tests. Results came back clean. Again and again, they said the same thing. You're fine. Daniel stood by her. He defended her when his family whispered. When they stopped whispering and started pointing. Barren. The word followed her everywhere. At night, Lola dreamed of water. Dark, endless, unforgiving. She prayed harder, gave more, tried everything. Until one day, exhausted and hollow, she walked into a small church she'd never noticed before. The pastor listened quietly. You took something that wasn't given to you, he said finally. And you paid with something sacred. Lola broke. That night, she confessed everything. To her parents, to Amara, to Daniel. The house filled with grief. Her mother cried. Her father sat in silence. Amara wept, not in anger, but in heartbreak. Daniel left the room without shouting. Days passed. Then Daniel returned, not as her husband, but as a man finally awake. I'm sorry, he said. I didn't choose you with clear eyes. He went back to Amara, asked her to forgive him for choosing another, even though it wasn't done on purpose. This time, freely. Lola returned to the river alone. She didn't beg. She didn't bargain. Some losses, she understood now, were permanent. And in that understanding, she finally let go. Not everything broken is meant to be restored. But some truths, once spoken, are enough to set everyone free.